They failed to fear the night, such thoughts did nary cross their head, and so in darkness felt the creeping of the shadows towards their bed. Fingers born of darkest pitch, and claws of blackest shade, crossed tightly round their ankles, and of them a puppet made. The children still now dance, though no longer do they play, forever bound by monsters, strung by strings that never fray. So heed ye now this lesson, never lose your fear of nights, lest ye too become a puppet for the Shadow Queen's delights. Happy Hallowed Nights. But what is Hallowed Nights, Beard? It's my first year and I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. Well, it's a seasonal event that looks to spookify the world with all sorts of Halloween fun, like pumpkin lantern set pieces here. They will be dotted about all over the place, however most will be found near the Pig King and the portal. And who knows, you might even stumble upon a pumpkin patch or two potentially. But it doesn't stop there. Not when a wide assortment of Hallowed Night specific boons are going to be generating too. Anticipate plenty of trinkets, Halloween candy, and more. Enjoy it. But hold up, Beard. What are these blood-curdling baubles I keep finding in my world all of a sudden too? Ah yes, those are the Hallowed Nights exclusive trinkets that can now be found just lying around or in various loot tables, and they just so happen to be our ticket to Tricks or Treats. For you see, trading any of these trinkets to the fat man himself will not only result in the usual gold nuggets, but we'll see 8 candies shooting out from the guy as well. Now these candies don't really do much beyond restoring a teensy tiny bit of health, hunger, or sanity. However, they also never spoil, so don't count them out yet. And yes, most count as goodies, meaning even Wigford players can snarf them down. Minus the candy corn, raisins, and lava peppers, that is. And by the way, all this candy is absolutely going to get in the way, if you know what I mean, but the candy bag should help with that. It offers 14 slots dedicated to everything Hallowed Nights, so either find or make one as soon as possible. But hold up once again, my bearded friend. I am also seeing a bunch of other frightening finds like decorations and even trees with glowy eyes. What gives? Well, the latter is simply a Hallowed Nights reskinning of totally normal trees that means nothing new for us really, while the former is exactly that. Halloween decorations that can now be hung from totally normal trees, as you can see. Now these decorations are also going to be littering the world at random, so be sure to keep an eye out. Alternatively though, we have a chance to locate some in both tumbleweeds and graves, so make note there. Be mindful though, any grave digging during this event has the potential to spawn a mini basilisk wave, even in the caves, so be aware of that. And that reminds me, before we end the day with the mad science experiments, know that totally normal bats are also a thing during this event that will plague our worlds and drop our sanities by 10 every time they arrive. Now, longer worlds will be seeing these guys much more often than others as we go about chopping trees or opening chests. And while they can be annoying because of that, there actually is a solution. And it's a maddening one at that. For all intents and purposes, the Mad Scientist Lab is the main draw of Hallowed Nights nowadays, as it grants us access to the Mad Science tab and its 6 experiments here. No surprise, each and every one of them is going to cost a bit of our sanity to brew. And most have an unusual recipe beyond that too, so they're not always the most accessible things in the world. Still, we best know what each one does, right? Brewing a brew of phobic abatement has a 33% chance to turn into a brew of phobic abrogation instead, rendering the thing much more efficient in combating that very sanity loss from them totally normal bats that we just mentioned. The normal potion negates it for 4 minutes, while the upgraded brew adds an additional 2 minutes. To continue though, sanguine mixtures also have a 33% chance to become an upgraded version of themselves with each and every craft. And here's where that really starts to matter, as flasks of the stuff instantly restore 8 health plus an additional 30 over a minute's time for a total of 38 health of course, while the canteens restore 20 health immediately plus that very same 30 health over time for a total of 50 health per experiment instead. Now the drams and tumblerfuls of psychic fortitude look to do the exact same thing, only they deal in sanity restorations instead. The smaller portions will restore 5 sanity instantly, plus 30 more over time, with the tumblerfuls granting 15 sanity per sip initially, in addition to that 30 sanity regen following each use. Next up are sulfuric experiments, and they have absolutely nothing to do with any of that, as they're more showy than useful. We have a 50-50 chance to get lime or saltpeter crystals, and all they do is give our fires particle effects. The former makes them bubble, while the latter adds sparks, as you can see. Arboretum experiments, on the other hand, mark a return to noteworthiness, as they help us plant our very own totally normal trees. They will have 3 stages each, all of which will take days to complete, but once they are done, you can either choose to decorate them, or chop them down for living logs, as they are just totally normal trees after all. But finally, the lunar experiment here is arguably the only one that matters. And to start, the craft has a 30% chance to result in 2 brews, and a 20% chance to become 3, which is quite unique as these potions go. But in the event that you don't actually know what each brew will do, note how we can turn butterflies into moon moths, birds into their distant moonstorm-dwelling cousins, plain old light bulbs into bulbous-like bugs, carrots into carrots, be them planted or otherwise, dragon fruit into salamanders, flowers into loon trees, saplings into loon saplings, spiders into shattered spiders, hounds into horror hounds, light flowers into bulbous light bug-like flowers, and wobsterdens into lunar wobsterdens. But not regular wobsters into loon wobsters now that I think about it, and that's kind of odd. Still, it's all amazing stuff. And there you have it, everyone. Another year of Hallowed Nights festivities behind us to help round out the latest update cycle. I hope you have enjoyed the not-so-little, a little drama release, on top of all the quality of life nonsense. But before we go, I would like to mention one last thing. The limited time costumes. Up until the event is over, you will be able to use every character's costume for free, so get the trick-or-treating. Thanks for watching, folks. Spooky wishes to all, happy Hallowed Nights, and I will see you in your nightmares. Bye-bye.